I'm going to show you what you need to know to set up tokens in Roll20 for your D&D games. Stick around. So I'm a firm believer that if you're using battle maps for your games, it's really important to have either unique tokens or minis for your players to feel more connected to the encounter and to the other characters in their party. So I'm going to walk you through how to set up a token for a player character sheet and also how to set up a token for a monster. So let's get started. Okay, here we are again in Roll20 on an encounter map. So we're going to start by going over to the right, go to your art library, and then go to upload. Once you see this upload box, that's when you'll drag in any of your tokens you may have gotten from the internet or have made yourself. Now in this video, we're not going to go over how to make tokens, but if you would like to know some of that knowledge, I have lots of different ways to make tokens. It's honestly one of my favorite things to do in Roll20. So let me know in the comments below if that's something you're interested in. But we're going to assume you already have your tokens. So once you drag them in there and they're uploaded under your recent uploads, we're just going to pull them from here. I just have a bunch of tokens of things I was messing with. So we're going to grab this orc gentleman, and he is going to be the token for our fighter character. If we go to our journal back at the top right, you see I have prepared here a whole player character sheet, Blackor. It's just this fighter I made up a while ago, but we're going to connect this token to this character sheet. So let's close out of that for now. And now that we're hovering over a token, you see a bunch of stuff. We're going to go over to this gear icon. That's the main thing we're going to work with. Now you see we have this token setup screen. Now the most important thing you want to do right here under represents character, we're going to hit that drop down menu. It's going to have every character or NPC you have in this Roll20 game. So by alphabetical order, we'll find Blackor. Now it's going to represent the name. You can choose to have that nameplate on or off. I like to have it on. Then over here, the token bars. You see we have these different colored circles above his head when we hover over him. This is how we can quickly identify some of his important stats, like his health. So we'll hit this drop down. We'll just type in HP. Then HP shows up as a bar, and you can see how that's popped up right above our token with the number in the green circle. For red, I like to do AC. And then blue, a lot of people like to use passive perception here, but I actually leave blue alone. I kind of keep it as a flex spot where I can kind of keep track of anything. Because if you really want, you don't have to set up each of those circles through this menu. You can just directly type stuff in. So let's say he had a higher than normal movement speed. So I'd say that he has 40 feet of movement. Or maybe he had fly cast on him. He's currently 20 feet higher in the air. And then to further show that he's flying, we can go down to this button here. And it has all these different stamps. And these stamps are just a way for you to identify certain things. You have different colors just to help you remember things. I use the sleepy one. Usually if someone's concentrating on a spell, it kind of looks like somebody's focusing. If we're saying he's flying, I'll give him this little wing stamp. And then now I'll know that he's flying and he's 20 feet in the air, just to help me and my players remember kind of the elevation of everybody. And then to get rid of the stamps, you just click them again. So that's the token bars, the general, the stamp tool. So now if you look down here, we have the token bar options. So basically, like our health, you see we have a health bar. We scroll back up to token bars. Basically, if you were to put values into both of these boxes, it would give you a bar automatically. So let's say our AC would go down. If we said 19 is also his max AC, over on our token, we'll get another bar. So the token bar options, all that really does is place the bar in different places. So right now it's above our character. Maybe we want it below. So keep in mind that if you flip your bar, it'll also flip the nameplate if you have that turned on. Also, we can make it smaller, compact, and we can put it bottom overlapping. So it won't overlap on itself. Now it's a tiny little bar. It doesn't show you the numbers anymore, but it's a little less out of the way so you can see the full token. Now token auras, let's say our guy took a couple levels in Paladin and he now has his aura. We can simply type in, he has a 10-foot radius aura. That's a circle. We'll leave it this yellow color and you hit save changes. Now he has this aura that's constantly around him. So now you'll know for sure if allies are inside of his aura. We can go back in the settings and if you want the aura to go away, just delete any value in here. Save changes, aura's gone. Now, the most important thing you need to know about this page is something that's been updated lately in Roll20. So before, when we were connect our character sheet to the token here, we would also have to go to the character sheet and connect to the token there. We no longer have to do this because they've given us this update default token. So now if we click that button, it's going to tell the character sheet that we've selected up here that this is now the token we should be using. So you hit save changes. And now if we, let's just delete this one. And now if we pull the character sheet from the journal on here, look, our character is back. Now, the nice thing about attaching certain stats this way is that if you make changes onto the character sheet, those values will also be represented onto the token if you've linked them. So for instance, our health, let's say we get hit down to 30 hit points. You can see the number in the green box changes as well as that health bar goes down. Let's say we no longer want to carry our shield anymore and change our AC to 17. Now it represents our AC in the red box, and it works vice versa. If we go to the token and we click on HP and let's say we got hit for another 10, we can hit minus 10. So you don't have to do any math in your head, and it'll change it in the green box, and then it also changed that onto our character sheet. Hi, real quick before we move on, I wanted to say thanks for all of like the nice comments and positive feedback I've been getting on these Roll20 videos. I kind of didn't expect that from being a channel under 300 subs, but it's been really great, and this community is awesome. If you don't know who I am, my name's Tony Rodriguez. I go by the Encounter Smith, and ideally, I would like to build encounters and other useful ways to make your TTRPGs more exciting and accessible for you and your players. So thanks a lot. Okay, let's finish up. Now we're going to do the same thing with the monster, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing we did, but we're going to change one little thing. So we have a werewolf here that we just grabbed from the compendium. And then we're going to go over to their art library, and we're just going to drag out a werewolf. I have a couple werewolf tokens. Let's use this guy. And we'll do pretty much the same thing. So we'll go over here. We'll find werewolf. And for the red bar, we will put AC. And for the green bar, where we would normally put his health, we are not going to put HP. We're not going to set the attribute. We're just going to manually type in 58 out of 58. The reason we're going to do that, because if you put HP under that attribute, and let's say you have an encounter where you're fighting a bunch of werewolves, and you have multiple of these werewolf tokens, it'll link all of their HPs together, if that makes sense. So here, I'll show you as an example. Let's set him to HP. Like we said, we will not do. Don't do this. We will update the token, so we attach this token to the character sheet and the character sheet to the token, and we'll save changes. And then we'll go back up to the compendium. We'll drag over a couple of more werewolves. And let's say one of them takes damage, 10 damage, minus 10. They all take the same damage. So we don't want that to happen. So we're going to make sure we don't have the HP linked. We're going to just keep this on none. And you're just going to manually type in its HP. So now if we hurt this werewolf, give him minus 20. The other werewolves don't get affected. So that's pretty much everything you need to know about linking tokens up to character sheets and monsters. So if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know in the comments below.